The Super Mario Galaxy series might contain the only Mario games that are impossible to beat blindfolded. The jank physics, the sheer length of each mission, and most important of all, the pointer mechanics of Despair and Doom are just too much to handle consistently without sight. But after just a few days of actually trying, we already have multiple stars fully routed and executed. How is that possible? I've been speedrunning various games blindfolded for close to a decade now, and I especially have a lot of experience with Super Mario 64, which I even beat with all 120 stars. But Super Mario Galaxy? This game is a whole different beast. Recently, I started a casual playthrough of the first Galaxy installment in celebration of the Mario Galaxy movie release. It was really fun and nostalgic, but me and my community of course constantly had one question in mind. Would it be possible to beat this game blindfolded? My and probably everyone's initial thought was no. Mario Galaxy is impossible. Even without thinking about the movement and the stars, this game is simply massive. Compared to other games in the Mario series, Galaxy is one of the longest games to beat by far. Even comparing speedrun times, the absolute shortest route is still over 2 hours long, and that is already with a New Game Plus playthrough with Luigi and 2-player shenanigans, as well as the Korean Switch 2 version for maximum time save and loading and so on. For a normal speedrun from a clean file, you can easily add another 20 minutes on top of that, and that is high level visual gameplay with skips and everything. A blindfolded run of such scale could easily take anywhere between 10 and 20 hours, and that is not all. Many of the stars in this game are considered outright impossible. The 100 coin purple stars and all the motion control stuff like the Super Monkey Ball ones. With all that, you don't even end up with too much choice in routing and all. And oh lord, don't get me started on the camera in this game. As a full-time Super Mario 64 streamer, I have heard people complain about the camera of SM64 on a daily basis. But holy moly, have you ever played Galaxy? The camera in this game is absolutely horrendous at times. And before you ask, yes, most blindfolded runs are indeed dependent on the camera, as it controls notch angles and setups. But there are also positives. Galaxy 1 is fairly kind with this checkpoint system, so if you die on any given planet, you usually do not have to redo the entire star, but just respawn close to where you died. And with some very simple speedrun tech, you can skip a lot of platforming by simply using the absolutely broken height of backflips in combination with spins and wall kicks. With all that in mind, after finishing my casual playthrough, I started up the game and wanted to see if I could get at least a few stars just for fun. The first one I tackled was Luigi on the roof in the Good Egg Galaxy, probably the easiest and fastest star in the entire game. And well, it showed. I got it pretty much immediately without much practice using the earlier mentioned backflip plus spin method. That was a cool showcase that it is actually possible to do some stuff blindfolded, but it was a tiny bit too easy for my liking. So I decided to step it up and just do another star in the Good Egg Galaxy, a snack of cosmic proportions. And oh boy, what a star I chose. First of all, this star is long and complex. You start off on the starting planet with the goal to feed a hungry Luma later on with some star bits. And with some star bits, I mean 100. These greedy pricks. Anyways, you need to get as many star bits as possible before taking off, otherwise you lock yourself out of the star. And you know what that means. Precise motion pointer controls. This was a peak showcase of why this game is horrible to blindfold. Using the pointer while blindfolded is a mess. Often I was just swinging my Wiimote around hoping I hit something, but most of the time I wasn't even on the screen. Sometimes I would shift a tiny bit in my chair and completely lose track of where the sensor bar is located. Even so, I created a general route that I wanted to follow for the star. A very useful technique that we instantly found was the crouch. While crouching, Mario moves much slower, but a lot more reliably. And the best part about it, it makes a clean audio sound. We also figured out some things about the camera in this game. The camera recenter button is of course incredibly useful, but what I really want to talk about is the static versus dynamic camera. Dependent on the planet and where you are on a planet, the camera in this game can switch from static to dynamic and vice versa. On our planet, for example, it is mostly static. At the bottom side of the planet, for example, no matter where you are, you can always hold up, up right or up left, and you will just walk against the tower wall to normalize because the camera will stay focused on the tower. This is very, very good for finding your position. Other sections can have a much more dynamic camera, meaning that it just follows Mario around, and an upright input would already completely ruin your sense of location. We also figured out that you can farm the falling comets in the first area for a while, though they do disappear after you get a couple of star bits from them. Really great though is that after every 50 star bits you get a 1-up, which means you can cleanly track when you have enough star bits because it makes a sound. After I got all 100 already on the first planet, it was time to move on. And we get introduced to yet another motion control mechanic, the blue pull stars. These things have surprisingly good stereo audio. In our star, we can normalize in a spot where all 3 blue stars are visible and then just point at them. You can clearly hear which one is the furthest one in your left earphone, so it's actually really nice and easy to do. After that, you are supposed to farm more starbits on a couple of planets, but since we already got all 100 on the first one, as it is safer there than to get lost on these little planets over here, we just move on and rush to the Hungry Luma. The feeding of the starbits is yet another motion-controlled minigame. I struggled with it severely, especially with the added stress of grinding for over 10 minutes prior to this. I also knew that I cannot miss any bits, otherwise I would go below the 100 threshold again. But it is still not over. Next up is a planet with some Goombas and platforming. Most of this is skipped with a few backflip wall kick spins, but even that can be very scary with the dynamic camera kicking in. Then we have the pill. Here you need to find the entrance first, which is much harder and scarier than it sounds. After that, we enter our first 2D section. As expected, the 2D sections are actually really nice. You can normalize by holding against walls, you can set up jumps, the camera is stable, beautiful conditions for a blindfolded run honestly. So we just cruise through the pill and enter the final section of the star. You are supposed to collect 5 pieces of a star warp here, but a simple long jump with a timed spin does the job as well.
Yes! Let's go, dude!
And there you have it. That was casually a 20-minute long completion of like the second star in the game. That is longer than an entire blindfolded 16-star speedrun of Super Mario 64. Absolutely brutal, but I think this star I chose was perfect. A perfect showcase of different mechanics, movements, motion controls, farming, blue stars, normalizing, camera techniques, 2D movement, skips. This star just had it all. And if a hard and long star like this one is possible, then surely others should also be doable, right? And that's where I want to introduce you to a few other members of our blindfolded speedrunning community, because it turns out others also took some interest in Mario Galaxy and tried to theorycraft some stars before. Our blindfolded Mario single star legend Tylord has performed multiple stars already, painting the planet yellow, where you need to activate all the panels and keep track of enemy cycles. The Dino Piranha star, which features the first boss fight and also a rather long and complex movement. Trouble on the Tower, Big Bad Boogaboom, and the Mega Legs Moon in the first Bowser Jr. stage. The boss fights here are especially important because in any % run, these are hard requirements to progress the story. Our good friend Wes, known for example for his blindfolded Mario 64 DS speedruns and his new Super Mario Bros. Wii speedruns, also decided to theorycraft a bit and got another required star in the Space Junk Galaxy. This star is called Pull Star Path, and is especially tricky for blindfolded because it utilizes motion controls to a maximum. But if a star like this is possible, why should the rest of the game not also be? Wes also got an incredibly difficult and motion control dependent boss fight star in the Taratong's Tangled Web. For this one, Wes utilized some super creative strategies, including using the Wii Zapper for more stability when holding the pointer on screen, and using the Wii menu to normalize the pointer based on the audio feedback of hovering over different options. Seeing all of this, we got inspired and launched the blindfolded Super Mario Galaxy Any % community project. Even if a full blindfolded completion would be too difficult or long, maybe with enough clever minds in the routing process, we could at least, as a community, prove that beating the entire game blindfolded was in fact not impossible. We could work together to create a spliced theoretical Any % run, and then see from there what we do. It would already be a monumental achievement. Wes provided us with the spreadsheet with all the stars in the game, and well, we started grinding. Others saw the excitement and also joined in getting some blindfolded stars. Luke, for example, has gotten the B Mario Takes Flight and the Shrinking Satellite stars. Rainwing got the Meta Splatter Mansion star, and Silo got King Caliente's Battle Fleet. And I personally also got 2 more stars by now, Honey Hive Cosmic Mario Race and Luigi in the Honey Hive Kingdom. After only a few days, we are already at 15 out of 60 required stars to beat Any %, 1/4 of the way done. Other stars already have been theorized as well, and we will likely see more completions very soon. I find it incredible how a seemingly impossible task can be slowly achieved as a community with enough dedication and brainstorming, and I cannot wait to see where all of this goes in the future. Maybe we will indeed witness a world-first blindfolded community run soon, and who knows, maybe someone will be bonkers enough to try an entire any % run alone after all of this. If you want to join the grind or provide some ideas, join the Blindfolded speedrunning Discord in the description and help us out. We can use all the help we can find. Most important of all though, make sure you leave a sub here on this channel if you want to see how this project develops in the future. I personally am extremely excited about it, and I hope we can actually prove that Mario Galaxy is indeed possible to be beaten blindfolded. Before we end the video, I want to give a huge shout out to the community and to all of my patrons that helped me create videos like this one. Big thanks to Boris, Bob Farrell, KingReubs, Sara, FoamQueen, FirstClassCitizen, Marcus Venturini, Pat Speedruns, and all the other ones as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon with more blindfolded awesomeness. Bye bye.